Recording. Hello, hello. Welcome to the first episode of Relationship. Should we talk about it? I'm so excited because my guest today is Connor. And I'm so grateful for you, my friend. So welcome. First English episode. I'm so excited. Do you want to present yourself?
Yeah, I guess. Let's see. Oh, beautiful. Hazy-san. Cool. Well, I don't know. You're in your picture, so you're gonna have to give me like not a picture and like show your video, and then I might say if I can remember or not. I do remember you. I just don't remember that picture. Yeah, I'm Connor, I guess.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing. I like that. That works.
Boom. Yeah.
I should be like, I just kind of want to be like, I'm a little turned on. Romain said, I'm really excited. I just want to start playing. And I'm like, oh my God, me too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, guys. So everyone jumping online. I was like, oh, it's like just 1 minute after the supposed time. And I was like, should we wait for people or should we just start and that will make people's coming? And he said, what do you want to do? I said, I'm so excited. I want to play with you now. And I fucking start the recording. So,
I want to play with you now. Oh my God.
Welcome everyone.
If you could just, if I just wanted to have that on my phone, your voice saying, oh my God, I'm so excited. I want to play with you now. And I'm like, okay.
With my French accent, I will cut you the thing and send you the audio.
Yes, it has to have a French accent. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and for everyone joining or listening to that replay, it's so fun because I did that show since last year in French with French speakers. And I was like, oh, there is so many people and friends I know who doesn't speak French and I so want to play with them. And I just asked, and it was amazing how, like, we have already I have already like something like 19 dates. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And it was so much fun. And there is no plan at all. Like 10 minutes ago, I just sent a message to Connor and said, oh, now it's the time, like, let's just push down our barriers and have fun. So there is like chaos can be bring on that call. And I so love that. I have only one question for you, Connor. Just one.
Yes.
Connor, what's relationship for you?
Ooh. For me, I'm like, which ones? Like, what is relationship for me? With that question, I'm just like, all I see relationship being is what everybody else does. And I have to say, like, I should probably talk about what it is for me first, and then I'll compliment you on the relationship you and your wife have. Because literally, when I first met you guys, I didn't know that you were married. Normally, there's so much energy, like a married couple. My wife, men do not look at her. Yeah, the two of you were just like, I was like, huh? What's going on here? Like, whose kids are these? Are they yours? And then I think your wife was even like, no, I'm the housekeeper.
Yeah.
I believed her. I was like, damn, Romain, you must fucking doing good for yourself. You got a hot housekeeper. You have the kids. Whose kids are they?
No, yeah, it's really funny. So I can speak a bit about that. Like, I've been in a relationship with my wife since our 20s, like 20 years old, actually, 16 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like a roller coaster, you know, like big up, big down, but whatever, no point of view about that. And it's so funny because I always destroy and create my relationship with her, like on a daily basis and with many other people too. And it brings so much joy and lightness. And I'm really grateful for the access tools too. I know for maybe almost 2 years now, but it's like, hey guys, just you being you and choosing for you, not against others, will be the invitation for others to choose more for them. And that's amazing. And that's why we try to keep, and the kids, yeah, like do whatever you want. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt anyone else. And don't be like not respectful for others, but just be you kids, and they are awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Like really, if I talk about relationship for me, I'll go back to like the first relationship I ever had.
Ooh.
And it was like, you know, I was in like first grade, which is like 7 years old, you know, which doesn't count as a relationship. But at the same time, this girl that I liked, like there was another guy that liked her, or little boy, right? Because we're 7, so we're little. And I just remember like she gave me her like, you know, number back when we didn't have cell phones and it was a house. So you had to call the house. And I remember being like 7 and like calling, you know, from the house phone. And then it wasn't her picking up, so I just hang up really fast. But she liked another boy too, and then she would just like say hello to me and would like kiss me on the cheek and then walk off with another boy, and I was like, cool. I was like, she kind of likes me or something, maybe. I'm not really sure. But it was funny because I was moved away from that for 15 years and then went back when I was, not 15 years, I guess it was more like 10 years. And went back when I was like, I guess it's less than that, like 20 years, but it's only 6 or something. I went back when I was older, and that girl was like a total slut. Like everyone's like, oh my God, she's a slut, like bad and wrong. And I was like, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. She has sex with everybody. I'm like, will she have sex with me? I didn't, you know, at least when I was young, I didn't like think that there needed to be monogamy. I didn't think you had to have one, and I didn't like, and I hopped around a lot when I was, you know, I mean, not that those are real relationships, but I just look back at like, what was my point of view back then? And it's because I've spent so many years trying to like do it right and be like, I suck at relationship because I'm never in one. So like I suck at them, obviously, because I'm in and then I'm out as soon as I can be. And it's cool to hear you talk about it as like a roller coaster ride. I'm like, I love roller coasters. That sounds great.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to hear you talk about it with such joy and like interesting point of view, because I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. But so often for me, it's all like, if I was actually in relationship, I was like,
Fully.
Dane talks about, I just give me up. Like,
yeah.
What do you need me to do to make you happy? And they were never happy.
No.
So, no. So, in truth, you know, most of my life, there was only one time I really ever desired to be in a relationship, when I was like, I want to fall in love. And then I created that. And then I was like, yeah, that was fun. I don't need to do it anymore. And so I like more last year and a half, really, no, in the last year, just acknowledge and discover my own reality with relationships and not and do what I can to, and really not even try and figure out what it is, but like just acknowledge what it has, keep looking like what would I like to create.
Yeah.
Because I would go on online dating and girls would be like, I know your kind of guy. And I'm like, what kind of guy am I? Please tell me, because I don't even fucking know. You're a bad guy. You only want to have sex. I'm like, well, I don't only want to have sex, but I do want to have sex. I'm sorry. How do you not want to have sex? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm like, if you don't think sex is good, then we probably shouldn't even start relationship conversations right now. So, it's like, what is relationship for me? Mostly I've discovered, like, I've discovered this because really I've discovered, like, for me, relationship is not something I've ever spent time thinking about. I don't go, oh God, I wish I had a relationship. And then that's when I started recognizing that, when I noticed that other people would be like, I wish I had a relationship. Not that I think that you shouldn't be that way, but when I realized I wasn't necessarily desiring one, I'm like, maybe I'm different in this area. So relationship for me is something other people choose. Maybe that's it. Because at the same time, like, I noticed where I could talk to someone that I'm like, how often do you think about sex? And they're like, I don't really think about it. And I'm like, ew, okay. I think about it a lot. Handed, I've gotten more awareness on that recently, which is very cool. So,
you can tell us more. I love your vulnerability.
Yeah.
Like,
well, yeah.
More of
it's
that.
Actually, like, yeah. So it's like, I've read it in the reference materials. There was a level 2-3 class that Gary was talking about. He's like, if you're someone that thinks about sex all the time, you have to add things to your life. Like, I don't remember the other details about it, but there's something about creation and receiving and all these things put together that it's not bad to be thinking about sex, but you need to be like, you have an ability and a capacity to create your life and living. You need to get out and do that. Doesn't mean you take the sex out, but you can keep having sex and create.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that brings, like, ease to my world. So, yeah, it's the last year's been really cool because I've finally stopped thinking I'm bad and wrong. Like, had you asked me this same question a year and a half ago, I'd been like, please don't ask me. I am the worst person. I'm so bad. And then I really started looking, I'm like, well, wait, the thing that you make yourself wrong for, if you guys haven't heard this, the thing that you make yourself wrong for, you might not be wrong for it. It might be something great. Actually, it normally is. Whatever you make yourself wrong for is a greatness. So I'm like, okay, what's great about me with this? And so it's like somebody recently asked me, because they had, like, it was a lady, she had a boyfriend that, like, left her, stopped seeing her. And and this is a very different point of view. And she goes, and I'm like missing him and I feel bad. And I'm like, well, how many, she's a facilitator. And I'm like, how many classes do you have going on? Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm like, what if you had that many men going on? Yeah. And she's like, what? I can't even imagine. I'm like, well, yeah, because if you had that many men going on, if one of them left, would you care? So I don't mean to say that this is definitely not the way you have to do things, but that's why I really like it. It's like, I just realized it's different. Because even when I was 9, when I was like 9 years old, I went to girls that I liked and I was like, will you date me? And one would be like, no. And I was like, will you date me? And then she'd be like, no. And then the next one I was like, will you date me? And she'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, let's date. like all right next to each other. It wasn't like they all watched each other say no. And then, so.
I love that. And what brings me, it's like, it's really funny how many people just expect and put so many expectation to the other one in the relationship to get them happy. Boom, don't do that. If you do that, just acknowledge it. Nothing wrong about it, but you can choose to change it. And change it is why it's like you just bring your happiness, you fill that cup for you, and you let other people be the contribution to you. But it's not on them to make you happy. And the day you really just acknowledge that, you can choose more of that. And it's what I do for many years now with Elodie and my kids and everyone in the world around. It's like, oh, I choose to be happy. What's bringing me joy? Because everything will follow joy, money, relationship, everything. So what will make me happy? What's work for me? And I have a fucking hourly reminder on my phone saying, do only what's work for you and push down your barriers. That's my 2 hourly reminder. And it's like, yeah, doing things for me, like really being me, choosing for me, is the invitation for others to choose more for them. Not to follow me, but to choose more for them. And the good thing in relationship, I have way less expectation and for Elodie and everyone's around. So that's but way less pressure on them too. Like, you know, like more lightness, more space to create differently and to be a contribution for each other. Even when we are not together, we can create with someone that doesn't mean you have to do everything with them. Just let's be the contribution for each other. Let's generate more and more and more and more and more. And what you said about the sex, the fun, everything, like ask yourself, there is few questions to ask before and when you are in a relationship. And before, will that be fun? Will I learn something? Will the sex be good? And a lot more questions, but like, you know, every time before going into a relationship or a date or whatever, you know, just trust you, just be in the allowance of that and never make you wrong. Even if you had a no at some question and you choose to go, yeah, so you're learning something. Maybe next time you would choose different or not. Everything's okay. And that's really fun. And you know, with Elodie, what you was talking about, yeah, it's been 16 years. But I destroy and create my relationship on a daily basis. I keep asking questions. Is it still fun? Is that a contribution, like even a financial contribution? Yeah, and like, does she allow me to do everything I want? Fuck.
And I love that you say you have that notification on your phone, because look at the back of my phone. Oh, I guess that it's probably mirrored.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Destroy and uncreate my relationship with, and you know, ... So it's like destroy and uncreate my relationship with me, with everybody in my family, with
I do that every morning, and every time something came up, and I was like, oh, I am tripping or whatever. Put and puck myself, and I just try and create my relationship, and on a daily basis with my kids, with everyone popping in my head at this time. I say, oh, and I do it again. I do it again. And it's really create a completely new space for your relationships. And that's crazy. It's so simple. Like, it's just a muscle you want to train. And it's why I get notification, and it's why I love your sticky notes behind it. It's like, even if you know the tools to be able to be them, you can train your muscle. And we have amazing tools now to do that too. And something you take on your hand or watch 1,000 times a day is your fucking phone.
Yeah.
So let's use that.
And you know, this is coming up to talk about it now, because the title for this call, the had drinks before dinner so that you can leave if you don't like them. My favorite part about that is like I was a little scared in saying that. I'm like, no, I can't say that. But I actually got that from one of my cousins. And it's a girl who's close to this. It's a girl who's close to the same age as me that hasn't had like a legit real relationship for, you know, the same amount of time as me, which is a long time now. So it's like, and so it was so funny. I'm like, wow, I've had this person in my life for wrong and meeting the people that make me wrong for it, rather than like talking to her and then her being like, yeah, you know, and then I'm like, wow, we're really not wrong for not having a relationship. And so she talked about, we would just have conversations, and she was just like, oh yeah, no, you've got to make sure you have, she's like, I've learned to have drinks first before you go to dinner. You know, if you have a date with someone and you go to have dinner, next thing you know, you don't like the person, and then you have to spend an hour and a half with them. Yes. But I also like the saying, kind of like, if you're a married couple, you can be like, we're going to go have drinks before dinner, because what if you don't like the drinks? And you're like, these drinks suck. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I love them. And it's like, go for it.
I'm on crap Brazil internet, so I'm going to see if I can I should have moved over to my phone at the start. So I'm going to upload it to my phone. I might lose you for a second.
Yeah, no problem. I'm so grateful for that conversation. And yeah, it's funny because while Connor's getting back, it's like we have Leah Black who did the amazing graphic of it. And she was like, oh, guys, can I have one quote from each of you, and I will create a graphic with that. And it's so fun. You have seen Connor one. Viktor shared this one too, I guess. I can remember yesterday. And there will be many more in the next, we have it's an engagement for me too. I have dates for 20 weeks or something. First time ever. Oh my God, it's kind of more scary than my marriage, you know, I have a date with someone, and men and women on a weekly basis. I'm scared or very excited. Fucking excited.
That's a good point. Are you scared or excited? I get scared as shit when I have a long-term commitment.
Yeah.
But you know, the one thing I've always noticed too is I've watched myself and I've watched everybody do it pretty much. We're we all think that we can leave a relationship. It's like, my question is, can you really ever leave a relationship? It's like, I'm pretty sure I've never met anybody that actually has. You can try. If you had kids, you're fucked. The relationship will exist for indefinitely. My parents, even though they don't talk to each other ever, it's there's still a relationship because we're here. They don't ever see each other. They don't ever talk to each other. They act like they're fine. They're like, no, it wasn't a bad breakup. Right. It wasn't a bad breakup. The two of you don't look at each other. Don't ever talk to, literally, if you need to through us, wasn't a bad breakup. What?
Is that so? What's the name of the movie? The Roses War or something like that?
The Roses War?
Maybe in French was La Guerre des Roses. So it's Roses War, but it was a film with Michael Douglas and some blonde woman. They were separated and cut the house in two parts and having a breakup as crazy. Oh my God. Yeah, you are in a relationship kind of forever, and you're still connected to. We are all connected at the basis. So when you got that kind of vibrational compatibility with someone, it's there, it will always be there. And sometimes it's funny because you get into the relationship because of the vibrational compatibility, because it's so fun, you kind of so connected and stuff, and at the end it doesn't work. Yeah, you don't have to fuck or be in a relationship like a couple with every vibrational compatibility. There is no one, the special one. Maybe there is 8,000 people on Earth who can match that sense. And so don't make it significant and just choose fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and the other thing, like one of the things I learned early on too was like the leaving a relationship was when I was in high school. I had one girlfriend the whole time, and like we dated, I don't know, was it like 2 or 3 or 4 months? I can't remember exactly what it was. And like after we did, it was just like I didn't even want to like deal with her anymore, so I didn't want to talk to her. I've had friends that would be like, Connor, she wants to see you and see how you're doing, and I'm like, I just don't even want to deal with that crap anymore. And I didn't talk to her, and I wouldn't go see her or anything. She never like tried to call. I don't know, actually, those, back in the day before cell phones, so I can't remember how anybody got a hold of each other. But friends would tell me she wants to talk to you and she wants to see you, see how you're doing, and I would just like avoid ever seeing her. And she actually died drunk driving a year and a half later. And so I was kind of like, fuck, like that's not something I'm interested in doing in the future. Is not, if someone wants to see me and say hi, cool. I mean, handed these days too, I'm not going to necessarily go out of my way. I'm going to go, yeah, I'd love to see you too. And I'll talk to you or whatever, but it's like nowadays I'm out creating my life. But I did go at the time, I went out of my way to not see her. And then a year and a half later, she's gone. Like, so, like I went to the funeral and all these things, and I was just like, very interesting. That to have it that close proximity too, it'd be probably different if she were to die now. I'd be like, whoa, holy fuck, that's wild. But to have someone that does want to see you, even if they're, I'm also going to be like, you're going to be like, you're a mean person. I could be skeptical. It's like, even if the person might be manipulating you or trying, it's like, because that goes on where maybe they don't actually desire to see you. They just want it to look like, who knows what it might be. But even if that's the case, I'm still interested, and yeah, I'll still do it. Nowadays, that's where I'm at. And I forgot that was my point of view for a while, and I forgot that that's kind of like the reality too. But really just that whole relationship really made me look at what I would really like with all relationships and what future I created with any relationship. Like it made me go to, if somebody wants to see me, I'm going to do my best not to be in resistance to it. I say that now because there's a lot of times I'm like, oh my God, I totally don't want to see that person.
Yeah, I get that.
So that doesn't mean I don't not see people.
Yeah,
but,
there is a lot about all the comfortable distance you can put with each other. It's like, relationship is the distance between two objects, and it's like sometimes you just get hurt and you just want to create, like, even if you are the one who's been dumped, like you want to create even more separation. Like, okay, my ego is like, oh fuck, my heart is quote unquote broken. Like, oh, I don't want to talk to them anymore. But what you said, and the good
thing, it's like, and I'm really, go ahead.
It's just
broke up online.
Like, even if they are trying to manipulate you or thing on that date now, with the awareness, all the awareness you have, so, and you have so much tools. Okay, boom, and
Yeah.
you don't have to say them again. But I love to give a chance just to see what it creates. And it's not only about relationship, like it's not only about
you're
purpose.
such a slut. I love you.
I'm such a what?
A slut.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, he is.
And I do that. No, but I do that not only with like, I'm in the same relationship for 16 years, but I do that with friends. I do that with business partner. I do that with customer. I do that a lot. I mean, I always be ready to bring a chance. And I finally got the awareness because I've been told, and it was like, yeah, so true, that like for 2 weeks now, that one of my superpower is like to bring a space of intimacy and vulnerability, even with a perfect stranger. Like in 5 seconds, people can just open fully to me, and at some point just say, why I say that to you? I don't even know you. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, and I can do that with everyone. But at the same time, I acknowledge since last week, I always try to keep a bit of control on my side, and I want more vulnerability. And I love this conversation because it's a lot of vulnerability and more of that for the world. And like, when you bring that to everyone and bring that space, you are the invitation for others to do the same. And that's great because the world wants more vulnerability. And yeah, I'm a slut. I mean, I told everyone. Every time I met someone or I see someone in a room, I ask him, oh, would that be fun to have sex with that person, with that man, with that woman, with that old person? And it's like, yeah. And it doesn't mean I would choose it, but I just want my receiving not to be cut because of my point of view.
And if all of you notice, like the way Romain is, it's like the reason I call him a slut is because of receiving. Like because of my relationship status, quote unquote, I've done speed dating where it's like, you have 30 dates that are 2 minutes each, which is fucking nuts. And I've also done, I've just done all different kinds of dating where it was like, when I lived in Boston, I was like, I'm working too much to like meet people, which is a lot of people in the United States, especially in the Northeast, New York, whatever, like that. A lot of people have the point of view, I'm too fucking busy to meet anybody, which is almost true. It's like if you work, eat, and sleep, and that's all you're doing, like you're at work, the only people you really ever meet are your people at work, or you got to sleep less, but then you might just be working. So I did the online dating thing, and just the thing that's been lost in online dating is people's willingness to, just like you said, give people a chance. Oh, did I lose everybody?
No, it's okay.
I broke up, didn't I? Is to give people a chance. And just like you were willing to receive everyone in the fucking room, you don't cut anybody off, and it's like you enjoy every drop of each person for whatever it is they are. And so for all of you out there, that's why I call them a slut, because like, I'll just give them a chance, whatever they like. I'm like, God, it's yummy as hell. And that's where I've watched, like, because it's like the online dating thing was always so fucking hard because everything was like, check a box. Oh, no, that guy is this. People are not coming up with reasons for why they want to talk to someone. They're coming up with reasons why they don't want to talk with anybody.
Yeah.
And I had a flatmate in Boston that met her. They might be husband and wife now. If not, they're just engaged. And this is like 7 years ago. But when she was seeing a bunch of guys through online dating, because she'd just broken up with her boyfriend, and she asked me a lot of questions because she saw me like I was doing a lot. I was all over the place. And And she's like, oh, what do I do here? And talking to things, it's like, I'm like, she'd be like, oh, well, this guy, he didn't even offer to pay for dinner. I paid for it. I was like, don't fucking see him again. She's like, but he really wants to see me. I'm like, who gives a shit? He didn't pay for dinner. He didn't even ask. He should say, I'm paying first. And then if you want to split it with him, he should allow it, but he should pay. That's my point of view. I'm a little old school in that area. Or at least he should split it with you or something, so, but she met this guy and it was really funny because I was like, is his dick big? She's like, oh, it's so fucking huge. And I'm like, damn. Sex is good. And she's like, oh, it's amazing. And she met that guy right when she was almost about to be like, I'm so done with the online dating thing. But the one thing I saw her do differently than a lot of other people I've seen do online dating is she actually went on dates. And I told her that. She's like, well, I don't know if this guy, I don't know if that guy. I'm like, the only way you're going to find out is if you go on a date with him. Yeah. But like I said, for this call, drinks first.
Drinks first.
Like, you know what? Like if you're a person, if you're in the working world or something like the 9-to-5 world, set up coffee, set up drinks, do alcohol. I personally suggest alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because it lubricates things. You can have one before and it's just easier to talk. Both of you are nervous. You're like, I don't know what to talk about. The other thing I got to say is if you're going out on dates, don't do the fucking surface level talk. That's all anybody does. And if you do the surface level talk, go do speed dating, because when you do 30 dates that are 2 minutes each and the only question anybody ever asks, what do you do for work? Do you like dogs? What's your favorite ice cream? All that shit. You get bored of it really fucking quick. You're like, I don't give a fuck what you do for work. Don't care. Like,
I never ask someone. When I meet someone, I never ask him what he's doing to work. I don't care what he's doing to work. And just before going to date, like, push down your barrier. What if you be the most vulnerable person on earth for that date at that time and for every other date? And just enjoyed it. And if that doesn't work for you, just leave. And the drink part before the dinner is actually a fucking great idea. Yeah. Drink first and leave if you don't like it. What else?
Yeah. And I'm just like, and like we said earlier about destroying and creating your relationship, it's like, what if, what if your dates with your wife, for those of you out there, the boyfriend or girlfriend that you have, it's like when you really just trying to create your relationship, you can discover the person you're with anew every day. I don't totally know what that's like.
No, but it's true. Yeah. It's awesome. And it brings so much lightness and when the two of us just do it on a daily basis, that's great, way much more. And I'm so grateful. Like, we are an invitation for each other every time, and we do not judge anymore. The famous like, oh, you should do that. You can do with your wife, your friends, your husband, or whatever. Oh, it would be better for you to do that. We don't do that at all. Like, oh, what contribution can I be for you? And sometimes it will be a talk. Sometimes yesterday I asked her and she was like, oh, can you do me bars of facelift? Yeah, great. Like, just jump on the table. And I did that with no point of view. And after that, I just let her space. And before Access Tools, I was like, oh, I know. I always perceived and be aware something was not going good in other people's work. Like, my whole life, I did this. And when it was something you love, it's like, oh, is it my fault or what? What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? It's never worked. Like, just ask, hey, I saw something, like, maybe it's brought up something for you. Can I be a contribution for you in any ways? And just wait for the answer. And if there is no answer, just move on. And it would create so much space for the other person that she or he will come back to you if he wants your contribution. And if not, it's okay. Like, less pressure. And people create their own life with every point of view, with every choice they made. So if they want to stay mad they can just stay mad. It's all good, and it's not on you. Like, just ask, can I be a contribution? And it can create so big for your relationship, and it's work not only for your wife, obviously, but for everyone, and kids and partners and business partners and everything. And it's funny, when you said I'm a slut, I will tell you a story. My mother just sent us an email from Portugal for Christmas and give us like a virtual gift, like, oh, you get a massage, free massage for you and for Elodie separately. It's like before the end of February. So I was like, oh, it's beginning of February, I should call the girl. So I called the girl and I said, oh, can I have my appointment? I said, yeah, when do you want? And it's for like hairdresser. I cannot plan 3 weeks before I will go to have my haircut and massage. I like now or tomorrow, but no more. And she said, I have space tomorrow and it's 2 hours and a half. Yeah, see you tomorrow. I get there and she was like, oh, so do you know how it will be? No, I have no fucking idea of what you are going to do to me. And oh, you're courageous. Like, no, I just open up, like, what else is possible, like, no, I have no point of view, like, what else? Yeah. And she was like, okay, so I need to tell you that you will be naked on the table. Yeah, cool. I love every time I go to have a massage, I ask if I can get naked. It's all right. Yeah, no problem. Let's do that. Yeah, and she was like, first there is a table and there is a bed, but at the beginning it's on the table. And I was like, what's going on here? What's going on? But I'm not afraid. I'm excited. And I said, yeah, okay. And she was like, a lot of stuff and doing a lot of stuff. And it was like, just give me like a test. Like, it would be like, I said, just do it. And I was undressed myself. And it was like, I have no point of view. And she already knew Elodie took an appointment for the next week. And I knew my mom sent me there. So it was not about sex or whatever. I was like, I just want to discover. I just want to give a chance. And if I don't, I will never come back. Or I could even left during the thing, And it was amazing. And I will not talk about it because I think Elodie have an appointment in a few hours. And if the recording is uploaded before, I just don't want to cut the surprise. But I will talk more about that next date, maybe. But it was amazing and not at all what I was expected. And yeah, I probably will go back. Just teasing.
I'm so curious. You can't do this to me.
I can send you a private message.
Okay, do, because I'm like, wait, is it like one of those things? Like, I see things on the internet like couples tantric massage. I'm like, oh my God, now I do want a girlfriend.
I will talk more slowly, but in the mic. So yeah, it's kind of the first level of tantric massage, but it's fun. Why it's fun? Because for a few weeks now, we was talking with Elodie and said, oh, I would love to try like tantric massage and stuff. And I told her, I said, oh, sometime when I'm in Australia or even here, I look at the ads, but it's always an energy that doesn't fit tantric. It's more like fucking, not that, more about sex and stuff. So I just didn't even call or whatever. I know, you always knew, like you always knew. And this time I said, yeah, and it's my mom sent me there. So for weeks we was asking and talking about that. And oh my God, there. And it was like the first level of that, just to know if you kind of like will do it. And it was so fun. Ask and you should receive. And I was like, even with Elodie, I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I don't want to be some crappy stuff like with other people and like, and it was amazing. So I hope for her, she will enjoy this afternoon. And if she not, it's okay. I will go.
And if she does, then you get to learn how to do it on each other maybe or something.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
I never been scared. I'm always excited. You know what I mean? I give some, and maybe if a month ago someone said, oh, it's tantric, maybe I wouldn't go. I don't know, I don't know, but I was like, oh, I just want to receive. I ask more receiving.
I love you're like a little kid. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
Kids. You know, I want to be like a 7 years old kids all the time. You know, when you run everywhere and you don't know why, and people stop you, why are you running? Because it's fun. What if we
Yeah.
bring more of that in your life on a fucking daily basis and bring way much more joy in your life?
And everything that doesn't allow it, we all destroy and not great at all.
Oh, yes.
Times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
Oh,
We had to wait until Leah Black came on before we could actually run a process.
yeah, she's there. And for those who will watch that later and which does not know access consciousness tools, just go on www.theclearingstatement.com where Dr. Dane here will explain you how the clearing statement works. Yeah, love that.
It essentially fucks your world up in a really good way. It turns you into a 7-year-old.
Yeah, more of that. Yeah.
Yes.
And look, no, it's funny. I did my first Right Voice for You class with Yasodhara last year. And at some point, like, she asked me like to walk, and I didn't know how to walk. And by then, my kids, the little one gets 6 years old, I think. And she said, "Oh, please just walk like Kian. Like, it's full of sexualness." And yeah, it was like, when you walk into a supermarket, it's like dancing while you walk, you know, like so much lightness. And I said, yeah, fuck, I have like a model just in front of me on a daily basis. What can I choose more? And so I start walking like that. And it was so much fun. And it brings me so much more sexualness. And having all those tools about sexualness too was like a game changing in my life. I can remember how many times I just cut myself because I didn't want like Elodie to feel bad or something about someone else like just teasing me or whatever. And I was just so much cutting me for a long time. And when I was in Denver last year after SOP and I get back home, I say, oh, you know, I get that now, and it's okay, like it's on you. I will just choose more for me, and I want more sexualness in my life. I want to invite you to choose more sexualness for you too. That doesn't mean I will choose to fuck someone else. Just I want more sexualness. Yeah, and I love people smiling. I smile to people every time. When I woke at 5 a.m. on the morning, I'm like, hey, hello, smiling and stuff. Like, even when people does not expect that at all. And it's create a completely different world for them. Because when you see them after a few weeks, and I just like play with them, I turn my head like I didn't see them. And when I turn my head to them, they're like, hello. And on the first day I met them a few weeks back, they was like, no one say hello to each other anymore. And so you can change the world with a smile, with a hug, just by being you. And I love your smile. I'm kind of falling in love now. I will have to put a comfortable distance with you, Connor, just to be sure. I didn't want to fuck you next time I saw you, you know?
We can rub bellies. It's good.
Thank you so much. Do you have a last word to end up our first date?
That is my favorite cocktail, is the last word. So if you haven't had a last word, get yourself a last word cocktail. It's the best. It's made with a French alcohol.
I didn't knew that. Last word cocktail. Yeah, I would get one.
It's made with, why am I forgetting the name? Green chartreuse.
Okay.
Green chartreuse and lime is one of my favorite cocktails.
You know what? In the recording email I will send, I will put a link to the recipe.
Yes. Well, and it's very important that it's green chartreuse. It's actually, and the better the lime. So you're in great territory. You guys have good limes where you are, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good limes, shaken really well. Best cocktail.
Yeah.
I forget what else is added in it.
Before date.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So make yourself a last word. I highly suggest everyone out there to make a last word. It's a strong cocktail too. So it's kind of like a Romain cocktail.
Mic drop. Yeah.
It's strong. It'll fuck you up.
Yeah, more of that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being my first date. And it's funny, for someone who doesn't want a year ago to speak about relationship, you are my first date. So thank you so much. I'm grateful for you and having you in my life. And
I'm
next,
really glad to be here.
and it's fucking awesome. Like I can see, it's funny because on my screen I got you like big, and I see Viktor. And Viktor is my next date next week.
One.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Getting better than that. Yeah.
I can't wait for it.
Thank you so much, everyone watching that here live, being with us. It's so much fun. See you next week, same time. And everyone watching the replay, like just come have fun with us. And there is, I think you probably already all on, but I've created a Facebook group. So for people who cannot join on live dates, or maybe people who are too, quote unquote, afraid to ask questions during the Zoom, like you can just put your question, write your question down in that group, and we will ask it live to my guest, and let's have so much fun. Thank you so much, everyone. See you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Tata bisou, we said in New Caledonia.
Tata bisou. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys. See you next week.